Please join me in pledge allegiance to our flag. You know what, Judy, Howard, why don't you bring Joe up here? That would be an awesome thing. You all to lead us in the pledge. Again, we have Howard Dougherty, our director of, you want to come up here?
No, that's good.
Is that good enough there? Hold on.
Yep.
Howard Dougherty, director of our Veteran Service Commission, and of course our honored guest here, Joe Witt, Pearl Harbor survivor. And so, you gentlemen, why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While you're at the podium, just stay there. And gentlemen, you want to join me? We have a proclamation about Pearl Harbor. Come over here, Joe. Okay, this is a proclamation for Pearl Harbor Remembrance Week in Clermont County. It says, whereas on December 7th, 1941, fighters and bombers appeared above the skies of southern Oahu and without warning commenced to attack the United States Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. Caught by surprise, the brave individuals stationed there, which includes our favorite here, Joe, which also includes others from Clermont County, rushed into action to defend their ships, planes, and comrades, base, and ultimately their nation. The devastating aerial assault lasted 2 hours, killing 2,400 Americans and injuring many others. Whereas today we remember with grateful hearts those who fought and those who died on that terrible Sunday morning. Their courageous sacrifices saved lives, and the stories of their unparalleled heroism galvanized our nation. And whereas, as Americans who enjoy the blessings of living in a free nation today, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the brave men and women who defended our nation on that day in 1941. We are grateful for all who have served and answered duty's call in defense of our nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, do hereby declare the week of December 4th through December 10th, 2016 as Pearl Harbor Remembrance Week in Clermont County, and further, December 7th, 2016 shall be declared Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day in Clermont County, Ohio, and in conjunction with a declaration issued by Governor Kasich, all flags on all government buildings in Clermont County shall be flown at half-staff from sunrise to sunset, December 7th, 2016. And we invite all citizens to join us in tribute to those who defended our nation on that fateful morning by joining us on Sunday, December 4th, 2016 at 2 p.m. at the New Richmond Market Street School located at 212 Market Street, where we will honor the memory of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Signed by the Board of Commissioners, myself, David Jubal, and Ed Humphrey. And we're actually honored again to have with us here an actual survivor of Pearl Harbor. And Joe Witt is a favorite native son that we have, and he's going to talk a little bit about what that day was like from someone who witnessed it firsthand. So, Joe?
So, they never told me I was going to have to give a talk. My throat is not quite clear today.
Here you go, if you want some water.
Yes.
We're here for you, buddy.
But it's a long story. I was went in the Navy out of Bethel High School at the age of 17. And when I reached the age, of course, after boot training, they sent me to Pearl Harbor. So here I am with a bunch of old salts, and I'm just a young kid, 18 years old, or 17 years old, but I turned 18. I'd spent 1 year at the time of my life. I'm telling you, and they sent me to Hawaii, and I thought I'm on top of the world. But didn't take long to change that attitude. But I know that we knew that we wasn't getting along good with the Japs, but the day before this happened, or a couple days, I was in Honolulu, and here was this huge, big ship, and all these Japanese people getting on it, going back to Japan. And I said, well, man, that's a big ship, you know. But when it left the harbor, I'll never forget, see a lot of Japs in Hawaii. And the whistles blowed and everything, ribbons hanging down my ship. And it left the harbor. I never saw it again, because in just a few days, we were fighting, we was putting out fires and everything else. But on the morning of this attack, you'll have to excuse me.
He wants some more water.
And,
Here you are.
okay. So it was Sunday. Now, our uniform of the day at that time was shorts, white shorts, cut 2 inches above the knee, and white T-shirts with our rank, or whatever we are, on the sleeve, and our name on the front. Now that's a regular T-shirt like you wear. And that's the last day I wore the T-shirt on the ship, or on the open like that, because it changed. Now, on the morning of that attack, we had no idea a lot of men's going to die that day. So we doing whatever we're supposed to do, and they sounded general quarters, and that's your battle stations. Well, I didn't have a battle station as such, but I was out in the open. Now, a lot of these men was going to church services. Now, I wasn't going to church service, because not that I didn't believe in it, I very soon did believe it. But anyway, they get on the boats. See, if you've been in Pearl Harbor, it's a place of its own. The ships come through an opening, come in, and anchor, or these ships all tied up to buoys. So that's where it was. But my ship was, at that time, getting some new stuff put on it. And we were up to the dock. And so they sounded general quarters. Now, general quarters is battle stations. We're not at war. We're in peace. And to me, that's the first time I ever heard that played, or sounded. So they all began to run here and there. And the Japanese planes came over. And all you could do was hear them boom, 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 all over that harbor. I couldn't tell you how many jet planes hit us at one time. But we happened to be in a place, my ship, heavy cruiser, USS San Francisco, in one place, and they couldn't get in there real good because they would tangle up with some other stuff. So they kind of laid back. But they were sinking those, or hitting those battleships, hitting those other ships, and all around the harbor. The planes would just unload those bombs, torpedoes, and so when they sounded battle stations, so I had none set for me, so I went with some the other fellows on my division, and went to the armory on the ship to get something to shoot with. So I was about a half a dozen of us or more, and they gave us a Marine rifle, Springfield, a loaded rifle, and so it was just a bunch of new guys like myself, hadn't been in the Navy long, and we sent us back to the rear of the ship where we could shoot the plane at them, and so here we go. Well, here's after they gave us a rifle. Here's an old chief petty officer there. He handed us, put a bandolier of ammunition around your neck, and let's see, and another one did something else, and then they sent you out to fight the Japs. Okay, I'll tell you one thing, I wasn't in much of a fighting mood. But off the ship we went, and we started shooting at them planes with rifles. Now, I mean, we're the whole country boys, and we've all shot rifles, shot shotguns, or we know what to do. And so them Jap planes come, drop their bombs, drop their torpedoes, and this is all around us, not just one spot. It's all around us. And then right in the middle of it, there's one horrific explosion. And that's the Arizona blew up. And oh my God, there's over 1,000 men on that ship, and it blew up. Jump ahead a little bit. I saw my time in the Navy, 6 years, I saw 3 ships blow up, all men. And but fortunately, I was not any of them. But so we stand out there, right out in the open, and shoot at them planes with a Marine Corps rifle. I'm not a Marine, but that's what they give me to shoot. And I'm just like everybody else. Hey, they're shooting at me. I'm going to shoot back. And that's the way it was. I never felt any thing about hiding or anything like that. I stayed right out there with them and shot out. But you see, we was getting ready to go on a dry dock. And you'll have to excuse me, caught me at a bad time. And so we didn't go into the dry dock at that time, but we was ready to go in. So they had all of our ammunition, all of that stuff stripped off the ship. You can't go in a dry dock with ammunition on your ship. So I learned that later. And so them Jap planes would come in and drop them torpedoes, and they didn't stop. They machine gunned men swimming in the water. That's how vicious they was. I've hated them with everything I've got for the rest of my life. They and right today. And so that went on for a while. They didn't give it up. And we got ships on fire, on burning. We got ships that's blowing up. And here I'm standing with these other guys with rifles shooting at Jap planes. Now, I don't know what, I never thought I hit one, but I used to hunt quail. Now, I know it's illegal. I know it's illegal. When I was a boy, and that's practically what it was then, we hunt, and that's the way we get our food out of, hunt those quails. And I knew that when a quail went up, you had to get on the quail and then follow him, come out where you think he's going to be. So that's what happened there. And so after all this is practically over, here comes this one Japanese plane, and he's not much higher than a ceiling. Maybe he could put another 4 feet on it, and that's where he was. Very slowly, 2 men in that plane, and they flew right over past. And so, with those rifles, I drove down on that plane, then I moved it ahead about so far, pulled the trigger. He kept right on going. I look ahead a little bit. A few years later, I was telling an officer about what I did, and he says, wait a minute. He says, they just discovered a Japanese plane with 1 bullet hole. A rifle bullet hole in that plane, Japanese plane. Of course, he kept on going, but and I think, my God, at least I got a hit. I think it was me that had shot that rifle, but I have no thing to say I did. But I went ahead, and I was in the Navy, and gunnery division, and deck division. We did all the work. We Holy Stone. Any of you got people ever Holy Stone? Anybody in there? Raise your hand. The Holy Stone is the deck. Those ships were almost white from scrubbing, cleaning. My God, I never said you could eat off them. But the Holy Stone, they would take we're going to have an inspection on Saturday. Okay, for Sunday. Some important person's going to come. I just throw that in. But what they do, they go around and anything on the deck, that's wood decks now, teak, and later on, then burn like heck. It got on fire. So they would take and go over the tar deck, take acid, sometimes stuff, and put on any spots, and then on the day you want a Holy Stone, you take your shoes off. You get out there, and you got a brick about so big with a place on top and a broom handle stuck in there, and you get down and you take that brick and that whitewash on there, and that deck comes out just beautiful white. But anyway, that gets away from what I was talking about. Let me get back on track. We didn't have, after this attack, the Japanese left. And the only one left was that one that I shot the bullet at. And they were taking pictures of the whole thing. Now, we had ships burning over here. We'd already had the Arizona that blew up, killed all those men. And that was a little out of our range of sight. We hear it, but we couldn't see it as such. And later on, in the war, I saw it. And, now I don't want to get away from Pearl Harbor. So, anyway, at Pearl, we next few days, no more shorts. I never wore shorts again. All the time I was in the Navy was 6 years, and of course I was in 17, I believe. Was it 17, Judy? Yes. 17 major battles. That means here I am, here they are, and we're fighting. We shot it out, and this is the first time in my life I'd seen a dead person. First time in my life I touched a dead person, and I did a lot of that. Like I say, I was in 6 years, and I was there from A to Z. And when the war ended, I was just coming out of the Philippines, and we went out. That's later on, and the Japanese were heavy duty in the Philippines, and they were getting them out of there. They were running back to Japan because they're going to get killed anyway, which they almost all did. And so, anyway, I lose my chain of thought. It's not. I don't have a thing. I don't look into so many. I can't see the eyeballs because I just see a person there. I'm almost blind. And but anyway, the Pearl Harbor thing. I want to stay on that. We ran out of food, and one time we ran out of water. No water. And I'll tell you about see, we got underway short after we got the ship organized again, and went down out in the Pacific, and we ran out of water, we ran out of food, and what are we going to do? You know, we've got to have that stuff. So they sent us, they got in touch with Washington or somewhere, and they said, there's food for you at Wake Island. Okay. Now, this big cruiser, I'm a 10,000-ton cruiser. So we took out for Wake Island. Now, meantime, we're way down in there, down toward Australia. And this is all in the Pacific. And we got there about dark, and we pulled into harbor, dropped anchor, and sent a boat to get the food they got for us. They came back with it, and it's all they got is potatoes. That when you're hungry, even a potato looks mighty good. So that's something that happened shortly after that. But now I try to forget a lot of stuff. But after that attack, we had a lot of dead men, sailors. And I had never seen a dead person in my entire life. That's not even my grandparents. And so, but that kind of gives you a little something to think about. You say, is that going to be me sometime? Are they going to take me and throw me over the side? That's what they did. Now, the high-ranking officers, they would put them in our freezer where we kept our food and preserve them until we got to port, and they could, in the middle of the night, get them off the ship. You know, they're dead, of course. But when you're enlisted men like myself, they've taken, I was in a lot of battles, a lot of them. They'll take and two men will get your body, and one on the head and one on the arms, and they'll take you to the side of the ship, and they drop the cables, and they'll throw you over the side, and you're gone. Adios, amigo. But unfortunately, I didn't have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't. I
You
don't
know
want
what, I think we need to give him a little rest here too. But let's show him how much we appreciate his service. If we could all come out in front here and get a picture with you, Joe, is that okay? I got you. You're good, buddy. Oh, good, we're gonna go right around this way.
Howard, you want the other arm?
You had a lot of people here, Joe, who came just to hear you speak.
Well,
Careful, careful. Little steps.
Yeah, we're gonna go right over here.
Joe, how'd you keep your hair so good? I mean, the rest of the commissioners here, we do.
We missed ours.
He does have fine-looking hair.
you know, I wonder that myself. Why I take the ball like everybody else and then don't have to get a haircut. But that's just the way it turned out.
Did you ever buy lottery tickets? For 19 wars, 19 battles?
Well, I do.
All right, here we go. We're gonna look this way, Joe. Right in front here. Get a picture.
1, 2, 3. Take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And again, I'm gonna invite everyone Sunday, coming at 2 o'clock to the Market Street School, and you get to hear Joe speak again and actually have a chance to talk with him.
You got warm hand.
We'll put you back with Judy.
Okay.
Buddy, and you're always my hero, you know that.
Mine too.
I said, I'm so glad that the last proclamation I'll be a part of involved Joe Witt, so that makes it even more special.
I'm not always led around like this. I can walk, but I can't see.
Okay.
And if you can't see, you can't walk.
Yeah. He said that Judy always tells him where to go.
Yes, thank God.
Oh, what a wonderful way to start. All right, gentlemen, item number 2 on our agenda is resolution 170, I'm sorry. Oh, introductions, I'm sorry, that's right. We have some introductions of new team members here in the county. We'll start with our Department of Job and Family Services. Judy?
Good morning.
Morning.
Commissioner of Job and Family Services. It's my pleasure to introduce Vicki Lawson.
She is our administrative assistant at the Southwest Ohio Regional Training Center. She brings with her many years of experience working for Corpus Christi, Texas, in their Human Resources Department as a training coordinator, as well as doing some training outreach for their Water Resources Department. So she's a great fit for us. We're happy to have her.
Great. Welcome to the team.
Congratulations, Becky.
So you're going to work out near me? I'm just down on the other end of Ward's Corner.
Oh, okay.
So how you like our weather?
Well, I was born in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Where?
Well, Cincinnati. So. I was raised here, and my stepfather and my brother passed away, and so my mom is here. So the Lord told me, you got to go back home and take care of your mom. So.
Well, good.
So
We're glad God told you to do that then.
Yeah.
So we get the benefit of that.
But I do thank you all for the opportunity to be a part of this awesome team. So.
Great. Thank you. Again, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, our Office of Management and Budget. Suki.
Good morning.
Morning.
I brought Tiffany French with us today. Tiffany's actually been with us for about a month. She started in October. She's a graduate of Batavia High School, a resident of Amelia. She came to us with experience from American Modern, customer service there, and as an office manager for her own family business. And we welcome Tiffany.
Awesome. And good people live in Amelia. Again, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
All right, our Clermont Transportation Connection. Thanks, Lisa.
Good morning, Lisa Gatwood, CTC. Happy to introduce Teresa Ball. She's a full-time vehicle operator for us. She started November the 7th and previously worked for B-Way Corporation and Clermont County Head Start, and she has 5 years driving experience. And then also Stephen Russell, and he's also a full-time CDL vehicle operator, started on November the 21st. Previously worked for B&J Baking Company and Cincinnati Public Schools, and he has 28 years of driving experience. So we're happy to have both of them on board.
Great. Again, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be back to working again. I'm retired.
Oh, okay.
Just good start off.
Well, we're glad to have you all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Lyle, our Water Resource Department.
Good morning. Happy to introduce Ainsley Napke. Ainsley is our new design engineer. She's working in our engineering division. Ainsley is a graduate of Williamsburg High School and a graduate of Geneva College in Pennsylvania. She has her bachelor's in civil and environmental engineering. So we're happy to have her here.
Good to see women in engineering.
Absolutely. Again, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. And actually, we're related.
Yes, we are.
I think Mr. Proud's related to everybody here, but okay.
We just had that discussion.
That's right, yes, that's right. That's okay, but I think she's your second cousin.
I've been told that you're related to Emma Napke.
Yes, Emma's my first.
Okay, I am, my husband's grandmother is Emma,
Oh, okay.
so it's pretty distant.
Third, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? You'll find out in the family, family's family, cousin, second, third, fourth. Ed's like my sixth cousin, so. All right, again, welcome.
Thank you.
And by way of introduction too, we have our County Commissioner-elect, David Painter, here, who will be January 1st, will be taking my place. And gladly give it to you at this point. So enjoy my retirement. So again, congratulations on your election.
One of the things that I ran for was to solve that air problem.
There you go.
If you look at pictures when I first took the job, and look at me now, just remember that. Start documenting every year.
David, what day are you being sworn in?
I haven't decided yet, but I understand it has to be before 1/3.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
All right, again, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, now, Item number 2 is Resolution 174-16 to pay our bills in the amount of $2,478,365.30. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And also, there is Resolution 175-16 for payment of bills to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. You want to explain that one?
Sanders?
Okay. Oh, is this that fund?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bob Sander, Human Resources. This is a payment for the transitional reinsurance fee. It's really a tax that we pay for $49,414.86. It's the last of payment of 3 years, and in that 3 years, we've spent over $311,000 to pay those fees. All employers in the nation together will have paid $25 billion in those 3 years to support this effort. So this is the last one of these you should see.
Good.
Well, with the repeal and replacement of Medicare, the ACA, maybe, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what's.
I guess I should never say
That's right.
never.
Maybe next year they'll write us a check. How about that?
Yeah, this will be the last one we see of this particular one, so we can go with that.
That's right.
All right, is there a motion then to adopt Resolution 175-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, thank you, Bob. Connie, item 4 through whatever. You want a stool or something, or be glad to get you some water or whatever? All right, take a deep breath and go.
Okay. Recommendation of Judy Eshman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Stephen E. Trable, County Administrator, to execute the annual support contract for end-user license and services by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Sword Solutions Incorporated out of DeWitt, Michigan, for fraud recovery and overpayment system tracking utilized by the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services Fraud Division at a cost not to exceed $855 for the period of January 1 of 17 through December 31st of 17, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the adoption of the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of a purchase order therefore.
All right, is there a motion then to execute the annual support contract for end-user license and services with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, and just keep going.
Okay. Recommendation of Judy Eshman, an agreement for recruiting services by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Trina Farrell out of Batavia, Ohio, for the provision of marketing and recruitment of foster families for children in the care and/or custody of DJFS at the rate of $1,000 for each licensed foster home from those individuals who make application, not initial contact, with the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services during the term of this agreement, as well as up to $10,000 for marketing efforts as specified therein. It's effective for December the 1st, 2016 through November 30th of 2017, pursuant to compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of a purchase order.
Is there a motion then to execute the agreement for recruiting services with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to appoint and/or reappoint the following representatives to serve on the Clermont County Family Services Planning Committee for the term of January 1, 2017 to December 31st of 2018 for the purpose of gathering public input and reviewing and making program recommendations in developing and maintaining a community plan to implement Ohio Works First pursuant to and in compliance with Section 329.06 of the Ohio Revised Code and other programs established under Chapter 5107 Ohio Works First Program and Chapter 5108 Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Program of the Ohio Revised Code. And we have 3 reappointments. Jeffrey T. Weir, Superintendent, Clermont County Educational Service Center, Regina Campbell, Managing Attorney of Legal Aid Society of Greater Cincinnati, and Lisa Gatwood, Director of Clermont Transportation Connection. And we have one new appointment, which is Bill Dehaz, Director of Community Services of Clermont Senior Services Incorporated.
All right, is there a motion then to make the appointments and the reappointments as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks, Lisa, for being willing. Of course, you didn't have a choice, did you? But thanks anyway. Item 7, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Cornell Breakfast Group Incorporated out of Shelby, Ohio, for the provision of residential treatment services for children referred by DJFS and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as defined therein. It's effective for January 1 of 17 through December 31st of 17, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the receipt of a current license to operate a residential facility, as well as the adoption of the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of a purchase order.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference purchase of service agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Judy, if you enjoy, Joe want to go, unless you all enjoy this kind of stuff, then. All right, thanks. See, I knew they'd leave. Hey, Joe, again, thank you.
I was just learning that stuff in the court, since I don't get in the court very often. But thank you very much.
And we will see you Sunday.
Excuse me, Bob, it's on Bethel New Richmond Road, it's not on Market Street, it's the elementary school.
Oh, they had that wrong. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Okay. Is that the elementary school on Bethel New Richmond Road? Anybody listening to forget what I said previously?
Well, I'll find it in a minute. Maybe, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank God for one been so patient.
All right, item 8, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to authorize Robert L. Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a memorandum of understanding by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Highland County Department of Job and Family Services out of Hillsborough, Ohio, for the provision of child care training by the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services to employees of the Highland County Department of Job and Family Services in order to educate the staff and maintain the child care program in Highland County at no cost to Highland County, effective for a period of November the 1st of 16 through November 30th of 16, with said services to be provided by the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services as staff time permits, and without hindering the services provided to Clermont County citizens through Clermont County programs, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein in concert with Chapter 5104 of the Ohio Revised Code relative to publicly funded child care services, therefore.
Is there a motion then to execute the memorandum of understanding between Clermont County and the Highland County Department of Job and Family Services as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, it's a great thing too, helping them out. Thank you. Item 9.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute purchase of service agreements by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the providers identified below for the provision of traditional and treatment foster care services, as well as independent living and wraparound services, as specified below for children referred by DJFS and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as identified therein, effective January 1 of 2017 through December 31st of 2017, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the adoption of the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of purchase orders therefore. And this is for 3 separate providers. The first one is Ohio Mentor Incorporated out of Fairlawn, Ohio. It's for traditional and treatment foster care services. The next is Lighthouse Youth Services Incorporated out of Cincinnati for treatment, foster care, independent living services, and wraparound services. And the last one is for Specialized Alternatives for Families of Youth of Ohio out of Delphos, Ohio, for traditional and treatment foster care.
How many kids do we have in these?
For Ohio Mentor and Lighthouse Youth Services, we currently have no placements, but we're renewing the contract for future needs. And for Specialized Alternatives, we currently have 9 placements there.
9? Okay. Is there a motion then to execute the reference purchase of service agreements with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 10, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute the memorandum of understanding for human resources administrator duties by and among the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, DJFS, for the provision of reimbursement by DJFS to the Board of Clermont County Commissioners for human resource services provided at DJFS by the Human Resources Administrative position, which is on the table of organization for BCC, with said Human Resources Administrator to work solely on issues involving DJFS, and with said reimbursement to be for salary and fringe benefits, as well as any additional miscellaneous expenses to include but not necessarily be limited to memberships, training, and travel as deemed appropriate by DJFS. It's effective for the period of December 19th of 2016 through December 17th of 2017, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the approval of the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of a purchase order therefore.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference memorandum of understanding for human resources administrator duties with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 11, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute purchase of service agreements by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the providers identified below for the provision of traditional treatment foster care services as specified below for children referred by DJFS and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as identified therein, effective January 1 of 17 through December 31st of 17, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the adoption of the 2017 appropriations and the issuance of purchase orders. And this is for 2 providers. The first is Beachbrook out of Cleveland, Ohio, for traditional treatment foster care services. And the other one is Angels Guardian Youth Services Incorporated out of Springdale, Ohio, for traditional treatment foster care services.
How many do we have?
There are no placements at these 2.
Okay. Is there a motion then to execute the reference purchase of service agreements again with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 12, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute a memorandum of understanding by and between the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board to provide for reimbursement of costs to the appropriate county agency based on services provided to children in residential treatment and/or group home placements, as well as for intensive family reunification services for children who are under the care or custody court order of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and/or custody of their parents and/or legal guardians for an estimated amount of $50,000, effective for the period of January 1 of 2017 through December 31st of 2017, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein, and again contingent upon the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of a purchase order.
Is there a motion then to execute the memorandum of understanding between our Job and Family Services and our Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 13, please. You're in the home stretch now. 13, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute a 4D contract by and between the Department of Job and Family Services Division of Child Support Enforcement and the Clermont County Prosecuting Attorney out of Batavia, Ohio, for the purchase of services relative to child support enforcement, including legal services on criminal and non-support cases, at the rate of $68.23 per unit hour, for a total not to exceed 300 units, for a total contract amount not to exceed $20,469.78, effective January 1 of 17 through December 31st of 17, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the annual appropriations for 2017 and the issuance of a purchase order.
Is there a motion then to execute the 4D contract with our Common Pleas Court Adult Probation Department as, with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Bugle?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, good job.
I got one more.
You got one more, that's right. I'm sorry, that's right.
Judy?
Actually, you took a motion on 14 and she read 13.
Okay, so then let's go to 13 then.
Well, she read 13.
Oh, you read
so
13, but we
voted
did
on it.
14.
We're on 14 now.
We're on
Okay.
14.
Well, we're good.
Okay. Recommendation of Judy Eshman to execute a 4D contract by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the Clermont County Common Pleas Court Adult Probation Department out of Batavia, Ohio, for the provision of intensive child support case management services on criminal non-support cases on behalf of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services Child Support Enforcement Division at the rate of $46.52 per unit hour for an estimated 3,600 total unit hours for a total cost not to exceed $167,475.61, effective January 1, 17 through December 31st of 17, pursuant to the terms and conditions and specified therein and contingent upon the adoption of the 2017 annual appropriations and the issuance of the purchase order.
All right, is there a motion to execute the reference 4D contract with a contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Bugle?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, thanks, Connie.
Thank you very much.
Lyle, 15, please.
Item 15 is a recommendation to execute maintenance bonds in the amounts outlined as surety for the installation of water and sewer main extensions, and this is to serve the Forest Glen subdivision, Section 2, Block D in Batavia Township. The water bond is $2,700, the sewer bond is $3,100, and the other is the Pine Bluff subdivision, Section 1, Block C in Miami Township. The water bond is $1,600, and the sewer bond is $1,000.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference maintenance bonds as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Bugle?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, 16, please.
Item 16 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with right of re-entry for repair and replacement. They'll be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantors. And this is for the Ward's Corner Road East Water Main Replacement Project located in Miami Township. And further to authorize the county auditor to remit payment to the grantors in the amounts outlined as indicated on the settlement sheet, and as compensation for the permanent easement and right-of-way, and to remit payment in the amount of $36 payable to J. Robert True, the county treasurer, for the recording fees. And the grantor is Antonio and Amy Garcia for property at 747 Ward's Corner Road. And this is the 14th and final easement for the project, so we'll plan to go to bid on this project in early 2017.
Good.
Is there a motion then to accept the grant of water easements with the right of reentry for repair and replacement, and to make payment to the not only the grantor but to our county treasurer as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Bugle?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 17, please.
Item 17 is a recommendation to authorize the release of maintenance bonds that provided surety for the installation of sewer main extensions to serve the following subdivisions and to accept said sewer main extensions into the county sewer system pursuant to the Clermont County Water Resource Department rules and regulations. The first is the Cross Point PUD subdivision, Section 3, Block B in Batavia Township. The sewer bond is $6,200. The next is Terrace Ridge subdivision, Section 5 in Union Township. The bond amount is $6,400. And the last is the Woodbury Glen subdivision, Section 3B-1 in Batavia Township, and the bond amount is $2,000.
Is there a motion then to approve the release of the maintenance bond and to accept the extensions into our county system as recommended?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Bugle?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks, Lyle. All right, Suki, item 18, please.
Item 18 is a recommendation to execute an extension of a contract for professional services. Just threw that in a cup. Between the board and Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management, this is for the services that we get for our insurance brokerage, and he will actually be in next week to present the 2017 policies and the renewals that he's received. So this will be for a 3-year period effective December of this year through December of 2019.
Is there a motion then to execute the extension of the contract for professional services as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 19, please.
All right, item 19, we've got a group of funds that are in the accounting system that still have some cash balances, and they're no longer needed for the purposes that they were established. So what we're trying to do, Mary's been working on this for a while, we're trying to get these cleaned up. So this is the first, a group of them. Item 19 is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 17616, resolving to declare that debt funds related to the day treatment facility debt service and the engineer's capital equipment debt service and various capital improvement debt funds, they've all been paid in full. There's no outstanding indebtedness. The interest and all the obligations related to those are taken care of. And to petition the Court of Common Pleas to approve the cash transfers of the funds pursuant to and in compliance with Section 570514C1. We're required in order to close these to go to the court. So what we have, the day treatment facility debt fund will be transferred to the child day treatment debt fund. The engineer's capital equipment debt fund will be transferred to the motor vehicle and gas fund. The first one was $2,520.32. The second one was $97.52. And the last one is a various capital improvement debt fund, which will go to the county capital improvement debt fund. And that's a whole 45 cents.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is a big one. That money's been sitting over there and we haven't been able to use it for all these years. We'll get it taken care of.
We get interest on it now.
We've been getting interest.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's been in the pooled funds. We've been getting interest. We just haven't been able
It
to
was
spend
44 cents before.
Yeah.
We got big capital plans that'll take that 45 cents.
So how much does it cost to do the transfer for the 45 cents?
I don't think they're not charging us any fees to go to the court.
No, I
What are you
meant
talking about?
Time and effort.
Your time.
Oh, time and effort. Mary's been working on this for 2 years, okay, on and off.
Well, you work cheap. I appreciate that, Mary. Thank you. All right, is there a motion to adopt resolution number 176-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Gubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks, Suki. Kelly, item 20, please.
It's twice in 1 year. I've been up here.
That's
And I
right.
realized it's the last time I'll be asking you for money.
Good.
Unless I see you in the hallway at lunchtime.
That's true. That's true.
I'm Kelly Perry, GIS Administrator, Geographic Information Systems. Back in February of this year, February 10th, I believe it was, I asked you for money. I asked you for the execution of a contract for aerial LiDAR. We've received that product, and we're in the process now of generating new contour lines for our geographic information system. We, in the meantime, became aware of a real need to update our aerial photography with accurate orthorectified photography. The vendor with the LiDAR contract, Wolpert, offered to allow us to amend the contract and fly new digital aerial photography for us. They would fly it this coming winter, probably in January or February, for an additional $48,652, which would bring that total contract cost to $152,084. So I am requesting approval of Amendment 1 to that contract to provide additional professional services, including but not limited to the acquisition of countywide 6-inch aerial photography as outlined in the attachments A, B, C, and D for $48,652 for a total revised contract amount not to exceed $152,084.
So Kelly, we've had it explained before, but LiDAR.
Light imaging, detecting, and ranging. It's kind of like radar, only it's with light instead of radar. We get, when they fly the planes over, they shoot the LiDAR towards the ground and it bounces back to the plane, and that enables them to get, there's a little point that we can see in the GIS software, a point for every single place where they've, where that's shot to the ground and reflected back. If we have, when we use our 3D tools, then we can, we can look at that, at those images in three-dimensional views with that. But it also, our primary use for it right now is to generate new contour lines.
So what LiDAR will do is if you had a forest, it would actually go through the trees. It's hitting the ground is what it's.
Both. It also captures those treetops as well.
Sure.
And it's within 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, very accurate. Our geographic information system is one of the most accurate in the state. A couple years ago, when we had the LBRS project done, we got accolades at the state level because we were the most accurate. We've been commended before in the past by the Census Bureau for having accurate data. And that's what this photography is all about, is maintaining that accuracy. We have aerial photography that the auditor's office provides currently, but is not quite as accurate. And as I stated in a topic paper, the last time we had the really highly accurate photography flown was in 2012. The imagery since then isn't quite as accurate, and my concern is that over the years, all of our layers would gradually start to shift and then not be as accurate. So here I am.
Yeah, that's the key. If you don't have the accurate part of it, GIS doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
Kelly, just for comparison purposes, can you remember off the top of your head when we first started getting these high-quality ortho photos? This is the change in technology. It cost us
It was probably about $500,000 in the past for what's costing us less than $49,000 now.
So, oh, sorry,
digital.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say so other counties probably, they just don't want to invest the money. Is that why we have better results than others?
It's because of Kelly.
Yeah, that's what I like to think.
I knew that. That was given.
Yeah,
I think money is a big issue. A lot of them get the photography. This pricing is based on the state's pricing. The state is going to amend their contract with Wolpert again for statewide photography, but it's all the layers after that, and it's the software that's used to derive those layers after the fact.
And we do that in-house effectively.
We do that in-house, but we also have that software. All that expensive ESRI software enables us to do that.
Perfect.
And of course the staff.
The nice thing is too, is like with our OVRDC counties, OVRDC has a nice GIS system, but who do they look to for guidance? To Kelly. And so they actually have a users group among those counties too, who get together. So appreciate that as well.
Sometimes I feel guilty going out there because it's like I'm driving up in the limo.
Well, that's true though, that you are.
Yeah.
So the residents of the county might see, like before they had a little thing with X on it.
The white X's painted
yes.
on the ground?
Yes. And so they'll see that again when they...
No, actually, Wolpert's going to use the LiDAR that they just shot.
So they don't need that
They don't
part.
need to do that anymore.
Okay, good. And to let you all know too, that's how we got Steve Raybold, the county, many, many years ago, is that through our GIS contract we have with Wolpert, he worked for Wolpert. And so we're glad we were able to steal him. All right, with that, is there a motion then to execute amendment number 1 to the contract for professional services with a contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Crowd?
Yay. See, the last time he asked for money, it was successful for me, so. 21, please.
Item 21 is a recommendation of John Cascaden, Director, Department of Public Safety Services, with my concurrence to extend the contract by and between the County of Clermont and Stratus Technologies of Maynard, Massachusetts for the Stratus computer-aided dispatch servers, installation and support, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 11/2/11, and subsequently extended on 11/19/12, 10/16/13, 10/15/14, and 1/20/16 for an additional period of 12 months pursuant to and in compliance with Article 10 of the reference contract for an effective period of 12/1/16 through 11/30/17, and to authorize Commissioner Proud, President Board of County Commissioners, to execute the Stratus Master Services Agreement in the amount of $20,784 in and as it relates thereto, with all other terms and conditions and extensions remain in force, contingent upon a release of purchase order required therefore in concert with the requisition dated 10/19/16. These are the base servers that operate our 911 systems. And Mr. Proud, I'm sorry to say that they have put an office here in Massachusetts. This is the group that's out of Ireland.
Oh.
You've always tried to go see.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not there anymore.
Oh, wow.
Very high-end, redundant.
Yes.
Yeah. Very much. All right, is there a motion then to extend the contract between the county and Stratus Technologies and to execute the Stratus Master Service Agreement service schedule with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Pam, item 22, please.
Pam Havercost, Clermont County Emergency Management Agency. It's a recommendation of Pam Havercost, Director of the Clermont County Emergency Management Agency, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Rabel, County Administrator, to authorize Robert Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a service contract by and between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners and the Greater Cincinnati Hazardous Materials Response Unit, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of hazardous materials preparedness, response, containment, and mitigation for the County of Clermont in the amount of $25,163.78 for the period of January 1st of 2017 through December 31st of 2017, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein and contingent upon the adoption of the annual appropriations for calendar year 2017 and the issuance and receipt of a requisite purchase order therefore. So this is just the sustainment of our Greater Cincinnati Hazmat contract.
So they'll come out
So that
and
yeah.
work with us if
So they'll support our hazard or fire response if we have a hazardous material spill release. They also work with us on our local emergency planning committee for exercises and training and the update of our plan that we do annually.
They're good to work with. Is there a motion then to execute the service contract between the county and the Greater Cincinnati Hazardous Materials Unit with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks.
Thank you.
23, please.
23 is a recommendation of Wade Grabowski, Director of the Clermont County Facilities Management Department, with my concurrence to execute a contract for professional services by and between the Board of County Commissioners and KZF Design out of Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of criteria architect services in and as it relates to the Clermont County Juvenile Court Facility Expansion Project located at Clermont Center Drive, Batavia, Ohio. In the course of the scope of services outlined in Exhibit A, the hourly rate schedule is outlined in Exhibit B, the criteria overview is outlined in Exhibit C, and the fee proposal dated September 16th, 2016, submitted and acknowledged by the Board of County Commissioners on 10/5/16 relative thereto, and designated as Exhibit D, all of which is attached thereafore made part thereof, for a total sum not to exceed $90,000, with the performance of the work to be completed within 365 days of the company's receipt of a signed contract and notice to proceed, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon a release of the purchase order. This is the first step of the process for the expansion project of juvenile court. We're doing the design-build approach, so this is the criteria architect that we're required to have in the design-build approach. And after execution and notification, they'll start working with Judge Shriver and his staff to start designing what they need up on the hill.
Is there a motion then to execute the contract for professional services with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 24, please.
24 is a recommendation of Pat Monger, County Engineer, with my concurrence to execute record plat number 629-2984 for the following subdivision located within Miami Township. This is the Pine Bluff subdivision, Section 1, Block C, Miami Township. Performance bond of $22,000, maintenance bond of $10,000, performance bond for sidewalks of $23,760.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced record plat, combination bond, and performance bond for sidewalks as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 25, please.
Papers got clipped here, hang on a second. All right. Item 25 is recommendation Pat Margaret, County Engineer, with my concurrence to adopt Resolution 177-16, resolving to convert the combined performance and maintenance bond in the amounts listed below for the construction of the street in the stated length within Miami Township. For the performance bond stage, the maintenance bond phase, and this is for the Redbird Meadow subdivision, Miami Township. $36,000 performance, $10,000 maintenance. It's for Redbird Meadows Drive.
Is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 177-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 26, please.
Item 26 is my recommendation to acknowledge the receipt of notifications from Pat Munger, County Engineer, on 11/14/2016 and 11/16/2016 of his determination to close the following roads to through traffic with the understanding that all advance warnings and detour signs will be erected and maintained accordingly. We have Half Acre Road beginning Wednesday, November 16th through Thursday, November 17th, and Sharps Cutoff Road beginning Monday, November 21st through Friday, December 16th.
Is there a motion then to acknowledge the receipt from our county engineer about the road closures as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And it's going to be nice having Half Acre now, because that'd be a nice thing for our South Afton Commerce Park. All right, 27, please.
27 is my recommendation to authorize the issuance of procurement cards for Tina Pocock, Chastity Schneider, Sandy Kelly, Caitlin Morlock, Susan Grabowski, and Reagan Kidd, employees of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, and authorize Bob Proud, President of the Commission, to execute the request for issuance of procurement cards.
All right, is there a motion then to execute the request for the issuance of procurement cards and for the referenced individuals as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 28, please.
28 is a recommendation to designate Commissioner Humphrey to represent Clermont County on the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, OKI Regional Council of Governments Board of Directors for calendar year 2017. Further, to resolve authorization of reimbursement of expenses in concert with the attendance of regular, special, annual, and or emergency meetings not to exceed $50.
Is there a motion then to designate Commissioner Humphrey as our representative for the OKI board as recommended?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Do I need to recuse myself on that one?
No.
Second?
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay, and thanks for many years of service on that too, Ed.
Thank you.
29, please.
29 is a recommendation to designate Commissioner Ubel to serve as the alternate for Commissioner Humphrey on the OKI Regional Council of Governments effective calendar year 2017.
Is there a motion then to designate Commissioner Ubel as the alternate for OKI?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
And again, thanks for your willingness, and I know you'll be praying that Ed doesn't miss a meeting, right? Suki, item 30, please.
30. All right, so last week I presented the draft appropriation for general fund as well as the other funds, with the understanding that the other funds would be modified to make sure that salary actions that were within general fund were also incorporated. So we've made those changes. You now have the final appropriation. We received no feedback from anyone over the last 2 weeks. So everyone, I'm not going to say they're all going to be happy with it. Nobody's ever happy at the level that they're appropriated, but it should give them sufficient funds to operate their organizations in 2017. So what we have is a request to adopt resolution number 178-16, resolving to adopt the annual appropriations for fiscal year 2017. This is pursuant to and in compliance with section 570538 of the revised code. It also, this resolution establishes the legal level of control, which is the level at which the appropriation will be monitored by the auditor's office. And if those need to be changed, those are the ones that we bring to the board with budget adjustments. And this is all in compliance with the Ohio Administrative Code also.
Suki, I maybe asked you the question before, but the park levy has gone through. When do those numbers come?
We will
Because we're still
do-
at the old level
We're still
here.
at the old numbers. He will gather all of his information to figure out where he needs to appropriate that additional revenue, and we will come to the board early next year. First we'll go to the Budget Commission for a revenue estimate, unless they're going to incorporate it. Mary, do you know? Okay. So once he gets his final estimate of what those revenues could be, then he'll submit to us a request to appropriate those. So you will see that at the beginning, sometime early next year, once he gets everything figured out. Because it's going to determine whether he puts it in salaries and fringes or everything in other expenses.
Sure.
And that, he still hasn't made that final call.
Under which heading or the division is, I know we do an annual appropriation for the extension office.
Yes, the
What is that
extension office is
under?
within general fund. We have it in our legislative and executive operating department, which is 032-328. And we have the Ohio extension held flat at the same level that we provided them in 2016.
Right.
Great, thank you.
When is the Budget Commission going to meet?
They have to meet,
I know there's a deadline, but do you know when?
no, I never hear when their meetings are.
Okay.
So they should meet the 1st or probably the 2nd of January is typically when they've done it. What has to happen with the appropriations, just a reminder, they have to be certified by the Budget Commission,
Right.
by the auditor, and we will get that as soon as they do establish the certificate of resources for 2017.
And as for those, the Budget Commission, auditor, treasurer, and prosecuting attorney,
Correct.
who are the ones who certify, make sure that all the funds that we are appropriating to now do not exceed what?
What they look at is the current cash balance in all the
Right.
funds, as well as the estimated revenues coming in 2017. That total cannot, our appropriation cannot exceed that total.
Right.
Yep. And there are some funds that, we always push up to the last minute, and we will be watching those, because if we thought revenues were gonna come in 16 and they don't, we will increase the revenue estimate in 17 for those funds that kind of slip over the time frame.
All right, does the board have any questions at all?
Great job.
Yes, absolutely.
Bottom line, we're looking this year or going into next year at a total appropriation of $235,491,000 plus a couple dollars.
And you want,
Monumental task on your part and your staff, thank you.
Yeah, Mary, I've got to thank Mary this year with some of the projects I was working on. She pretty much rolled all of this up with, we had guidance from everyone on what priorities would be. We funded a lot of the request. We were not able, as typical, to fund everything that was requested. So we'll see, where those go and what we can do about that throughout the year.
See where the commissioners in Hamilton County are looking at strong retail sales tax growth, so they're already planning to spend that. So.
I'm not as, you know me, I'm not as
See, it's a different story than what you told us. So.
yeah.
I'm
We're
not
reading
as
out a different
optimistic.
Yeah, you told us
chapter.
flat, no.
I don't have flat. I have about a 3% growth in next year. And then it's a very conservative, and we also have that's gonna face us probably in the last 3 months of next year is that change in the sales tax base.
I think we'd rather be prudent than.
Exactly.
Hamilton County is.
I hope they do,
See, it's the great thing about, in this county, with our very conservative fiscal policy, is that, we have a healthy rainy day fund,
We do.
a reserve, and, again, planning for if there is a downturn to the economy.
Well, and now that you see the news every day, if we were hit with something like Gatlinburg is getting hit for, and 50% of our revenues are sales tax based, that, I always worried about a tornado, not that we are a big fire area, but it's gonna wipe them out a little bit. And you have to worry about what they're gonna do to keep their operations going.
And,
I never thought of that part.
Yes. I get a
No,
little
you-
pessimistic, don't I?
I appreciate it, I appreciate it.
that's
But
actually.
it's reality.
I mean, that's why I know the sheriff has been very hesitant to declare level 3 snow emergencies, because that shuts down all the retail. He's had to do it a couple of times, but, and also I want to commend you all, and the whole staff. Mary, how many budgets this has been for you?
38.
Over 30 budgets, wow.
38th one, Mayor.
Mary was here when budgets were done on paper.
On an abacus.
Spent many hours
On
making
the abacus.
triplicates.
Wow. You know, and by, again, Ohio Revised Code, we have to end every year with a balanced budget.
We have to start and maintain.
Start maintaining, yeah.
Right.
And we've been able to do that every time, and very proud of that fact as well. But we also need to thank all of our department heads and other elected officials for their willingness to work with us on this as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah, they have, you know, since 2009, when we had to start making adjustments for the economy's impact to our revenue stream. It was hard for the departments, but I think by now they have got to the point where they really understand that we have restrictions and they can't always get everything that they need or would want. I take it back, we try to provide everything they need. We can't always give them everything they want. But we've been pretty lucky. We finally got to the point where our revenue stream is now back to where it was and has exceeded where we were before the economy hurt us in 2009.
What was the general fund in 2009?
General fund was probably, in 2009, it was probably about 50, I would think, 50 million. So, I don't have it that far back on that chart.
Mary, you probably know that right off the bat, don't you? You only have 30 of them, they don't come to.
So after 7 years in inflation, we are well below where we were in '09 in terms of our spending.
No, we're at 57. or
Saying with
50
inflation over 7
Oh,
years,
yeah,
and effectively,
potentially,
we're
right, yeah.
spending less.
We've maintained our salary levels at a reasonable growth, and we cut, when 2009 hit, we started cutting as much other type expenses as we could to make sure we were putting the money where the priorities needed to be.
All right, if there's no other questions, is there a motion to adopt resolution number 178-16 as recommended?
I'll proudly make the motion for resolution 178-16 for the annual appropriations for 2017.
And I'll second.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
Thank you.
And again, kudos to you all, too. Please tell the rest of the team as well. And again, to all of our other department heads. Yeah. To all of our department heads and other elected officials, thank you for your cooperation. This
There
wouldn't
are
be possible
counties that
without them.
don't get it done this early. There's some that go into next year before they get appropriation put together, yep.
Which we have done that before, too.
But this year, we're right on the mark.
And the thing is, we recognize that this is a very fluid document, too.
It may change.
31, please.
Item 31, Bob Sander, Human Resources, is a recommendation of Thomas Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, with the concurrence of Stephen Raybold, County Administrator, to execute an agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County and Edward S. Dorsey with Wood and Lamping LLP, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of consulting services relative to labor management matters on an as-needed basis. That's for the period January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017, at the rate of $200 per hour for labor activities and $220 per hour for state or federal proceedings, for a total amount not to exceed $55,000, inclusive of all costs and expenses in 2017, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of the requisite purchase orders therefore. This is to serve as an advisor to the 4 organizations that have collective bargaining agreements in Clermont County. This year, to date, we've spent $40,000, but next year we believe that will be much smaller, because we have in 15 and 16 negotiated multi-year agreements.
Three-year
So we don't know what will come up, but in the way of arbitrations, but it should be a smaller amount in 17.
So, is there a motion then to execute the reference agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Suki, again, welcome back. Financials, 32.
Okay, just a couple financials this week. First, we have some supplemental appropriations. In 2 RID funds, I am reducing the appropriation because the revenues came in a little bit less than the estimate. The RID funds are those property taxes that are coming in from our 2005 RIDs. So we have Enclave at O'Banion. It'll be
And the RID is?
Residential Improvement
There
District.
you go.
Yep. Enclave at O'Bannon is a reduction of $265.57. And this goes back to that budgeting, because the revenues are not as we estimated. We have to keep our appropriations in line with those. And we also have the Sunnymead RID, a reduction of $9,796.96. And then to close out the one fund that we were asking the court to authorize the transfer, we have to appropriate 45 cents in the various capital improvement fund. We have to appropriate the $97.52 into the engineer's capital equipment. And finally, I have a very large increase. This is $445,000 into the health insurance fund. That is actually an increase in appropriation because we got the additional revenues to do the advance to allow us to pay claims. So this will allow us to repay that, and I expect that to be on next week. So the health insurance fund has been reimbursed for most of those stop-loss claims. We do have a couple budget transfers this week from juvenile court other expenses to juvenile detention other expenses, $3,000 for additional detention. We continue to have needs in juvenile detention due to the number of clients that they have. Juvenile court other expenses is also moving money to probate court other expenses, and that's $500 for the guardianship notification requirements that they had placed on them. Also from juvenile court other expenses to juvenile probation other expenses, $1,000 for travel and training for their probation officers. And then in juvenile detention, we have regular salaries being moved to overtime due to staff shortages. That's $6,000 need. Juvenile court magistrate salaries to juvenile detention overtime. That will give them another $4,000 for overtime in detention, and in juvenile detention fringes to overtime, there's another $5,000 that can be moved. So hopefully that'll meet their overtime requirements. Juvenile Title 1D fund, fringe benefits to regular salaries, $300. And Title 4E Child and Youth Services other expenses to regular salaries, $2,000.
You have to educate me on what is 1D.
4D.
No, he's talking
Do I
about
say,
this one.
did I say
Juvenile.
1D?
It's
Oh, I
juvenile
don't,
title
Mary,
1D.
can you educate him on 1D? I stay away from those.
Okay. I wasn't familiar with that one.
We
I
have,
thought-
we
at first
have
I thought, is
the,
that a typo? Should it be 4D or 1D? Okay.
so it supports part of that teacher we have.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I had never heard of 1D before. Yeah, thank you. I'll find out what it is as I exit. All right, is there a motion then to approve the supplemental appropriations budget and budget transfers as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Training and travel, 33, please.
First up, we have Clermont County Court of Common Pleas. Judge Farrick, 3 days, Columbus, Ohio, the Supreme Court of Ohio Judicial College. Estimated not to exceed $656.76. And Judge McBride, 3 days, Columbus, Ohio, Supreme Court of Ohio Judicial College. Estimated not to exceed $974.76. Prosecuting Attorney's Office, Scott O'Reilly, Ernie Ramos, 1 day, Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio Prosecuting Attorney Association 2016 Winter Conference, not to exceed $693.92. Kay Terstrepa, Matt Wiseman, Christina Strassel, Dottie Smith, Tom Scrovander, Jeanette Nichols, Darren Miller, Alex Jones, Nick Horton, Jason Fountain, Vincent Ferris, Laura Barron, and Zach Zipper. 1 day for the Ohio Prosecuting Attorney Association 2016 Winter Conference, not to exceed $8,541.48. Clermont County Public Defender's Office, Ryan DeBra, Stephen Haynes, Emily Huddleston, James Hunt, Ronald Mason, and Daniel Startzman. 3 days, Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, the annual death penalty seminar, not to exceed $2,137.71. County Engineers Office, Pat Munger and Craig Stevenson, 3 days for the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, County Engineers Association of Ohio 2016 Winter Conference, not to exceed $1,820.48. Rob Alfieri, Jeff Smith, Tim Krieger, and Greg Sanfors. 1 day, Columbus, Ohio, for the Ohio State University 2017 Recertification Conference, not to exceed $400. County Auditor's Office, Benjamin Campbell, 2 days, Alliance, Ohio, for International Association of Assessing Officers, not to exceed $279. Lyle, can I get you on this one? Fred, and I don't want to mess up his name. Luca Hall, thank you. 2 days, Mason, Ohio, NESCO's Pipeline Assessment and Certification Program, not to exceed $450. Mark Day, 3 days, Columbus, Ohio, the Operator Training Committee of Ohio's 47th Annual Water Distribution Systems Workshop, not to exceed $667. And Lyle Bloom, 2 days, Columbus, Ohio, for the County Sanitary Engineers Association of Ohio 2016 Winter Conference, not to exceed $577. Farm Transportation Connection, Lisa Gatwood, 2 days, Cincinnati, Ohio, the Ohio Kentucky Indiana Council of Governments Certification Review Site Visit, not to exceed $0. Department of Job and Family Services, Judy Eshman, 1 day, Lebanon, Ohio, Workforce Investment Board Area 12 meeting, not to exceed $29.16. Information Systems Department, Telecommunications Division, Patty McKinley, Karen Quitter, 6 days, Las Vegas, Nevada, International Avaya Users Group, not to exceed $5,525.80. And the Board of County Commissioners, Becky Ealing and Terry Owsley, 1 day, Columbus, Ohio, County Commissioners Association of Ohio Winter Conference, County Loss Control Coordinator Association meeting, not to exceed $20.
Is there a motion then to approve the county training and travel requests as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Pratt?
Yay. All right, our personnel, 34, please.
Department of Job and Family Services, Toby Cantrell, Investigator 3, job change, permanent job change effective January 2nd, 17. Jessica Baker, Income Maintenance Worker 3, resignation effective 12/2. Tima Rose, Social Service Worker 2, termination resignation effective 12/2. Department of Public Safety Services, Jessica Wiederhold, Emergency Resource Technician, step increase effective 12/5. Information Systems Department, Stephen Grigsby, Network Analyst 1, end of probation effective 12/6. And Mark Brown, Systems Analyst 1, end of probation effective 10/18. Water Resources Department, David Reed, termination retirement effective 1/31. And Jacob Ober, return from leave effective 12/1/16.
Is there a motion then to approve the personnel actions as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Pratt?
Yay. Do you have any add-ons?
I do not. Judy?
All right.
No.
I'll take a 5-minute recess for our minutes to be prepared.
No.
All right, let the record show the board came out of recess and have resumed its regular session. And Ed, I believe we have the minutes in front of us.
We do.
And when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
I've reviewed them, and I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Pratt?
Yay. And no other business. Is there a motion to adjourn today's session?
moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Pratt?
Yay. Thank you all. God bless.